Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay, just following up with the Z Fold 7 / special edition. Now, I was thinking about this phone and I said, man, you know what to do. I shouldn't have to tell you. You know what to do when I'm recording a folding phone. Let's get back at it. So I was thinking about the release of this phone and then also the phone I'm recording with, which is the Z Fold 6. The Z Fold 6 released in July of 2024. We're in March of 2025, at the end of March of 2025, recording this video. And this phone, the special edition, it actually came out towards the end of the year in 2024, which is October. So what does that mean for the US market? Did Samsung give the other markets the best folding phone? And to me right now, currently from Samsung, this is the best folding phone that they've ever offered. And it didn't hit the US. So did they give us a glimpse of, what they're going to do for us next time, I should say, because I do live in the United States and, I purchase phones from the United States because I know they're going to work in the United States with no issues with 5G and things like that. But most of the phones that I have on the table now all work with 5G that are unlocked from other countries. But I got to say, this phone coming out in October of 2024 and then the Z Fold 6 coming out in July, what is Samsung's plan for the US market? And I want to have a quick discussion video on that because the Z Fold 7 it's impeccable for what it is. I keep saying that this should have been the Z Fold 6, but this could have been the Z Fold 5. I mean, it's just so good. Minus a few things that I don't like about it, but it's still worth mentioning that this phone is definitely crazy when you compare it, the specs next to the Z Fold 6. They both have Gorilla Glass Victus 2. You know what I mean? So this is something that, some people say, oh man, that doesn't mean anything. But yeah, all the little specs that they do, they mean something. They're both the same peak brightness at 2600. Like, they're both the same. And they changed some things on this phone. And obviously this has a bigger display. This has an 8-inch display in the interior, and the Z Fold 6 has a 7.6, and it does make a difference, folks. I have definitely checked them out side by side, and it just works. Now, the cover display on these are pretty much the same. They're almost the same. You got a little bit bigger display over here, which is great. But when I say the same, I mean they're functioning the same. But the resolution on this one, with it being a 6.5, so just a little bit bigger. The 6 has a 6.3. So it's 968 by 2376. But this one comes in at a full 1080p by 2520. But they're all still 120 hertz, 2600 nits peak brightness with Gorilla Glass Victus 2. So Samsung could definitely bring this to the United States. I don't know what the purpose of them not doing it was. Was it a test run? I don't know. They both have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It's all the same. Like, the internals pretty much are the same on here, man. This is crazy. And using this versus the Z Fold 6, it's been a much better experience. I mean, I think the screen is bigger in the interior, but the screen is also bigger on the exterior, and that makes for a much better experience overall. It really does. I tell you no lies, man. I guess a downside for this one is the one variation, 16 gigs, 512 gigs of storage, but that's not bad because when you flip it over here, here's a major difference. You've got a 200 megapixel camera back here, unlike the Z Fold 6 coming in at just 50 megapixels. And that sounds crazy saying just 50 megapixels, but when you have these very expensive phones, you need to be Samsung, you should be giving it your all up front. While they both do the same recording, 8K 60 frames per second, they all do the same thing. Now, a difference that they have on here, let me get in here, I want to show you here. Right there, 200 megapixels. On the Z Fold 6, it's like, nah, you're not getting that. It's nuts, man. So I'm wondering, I'm hoping, I should say, this July when it hits. I think I've been showing a lot of people this phone, and a lot of people have been seeing this phone lately, and I've been promoting like crazy. It's such a good phone. We're giving it away. The plug real quick, sponsored by techadaygiveaway.com. Links in the description. Make sure you get your entries in and you can win this phone right here. So I'm hoping that Samsung does something great, because I've had this phone now for about 3 weeks and it's just been an amazing experience. I mean, I'm talking about it's night and day when it comes to comparison next to the Z Fold 6. And if you're saying to yourself, what's so night and day about it? Once you hold it in your hand next to the Z Fold 6, you'll see exactly what I mean. And then also the video quality, it matches, and it doesn't really exceed the Z Fold 6 by a whole bunch. But we're talking about Samsung, and they make these incremental updates and call it the next version. So I think where you'll see the most improvements are the hardware. Like it's textured all around the hardware. Speakers are really loud on here. It's really good. Hinge game is still the same. It's still a nice small hinge, but with it being just a little bit bigger, you're going to see like, man, this is a hit. And then when you open it up, you'll get a much better viewing experience when it comes to content. I mean, it sounds crazy, but this small increment right here is worth it. What would you guys do if they just brought this same device to the United States and called it the Z Fold 7? What would you do? Would you be upset knowing that it came out last year or in 2024 as the Z Fold Special Edition? Would you be upset about that, or would you just ride with it? I think if people could get their hands on this phone right here, and then also the price, it will be a US price. It won't be $2,900 or nothing like that, because they know they're not going to move those units. It would be $1,500 or whatever the Z Fold 6s cost, or the 7s, like the current Z Folds in the lineup in the United States. They won't raise the price that much. They can't. It's not a big enough jump from the Z Fold 6 in hardware, like physical hardware and specs as well. They will put the Elite processor in here. You get the bigger screen, you get the bigger outer display, but I don't think that's enough to warrant a $2,000, $3,000 price tag for a US market. I don't think so. But I also know that if they were to bring this phone to the US market, I wouldn't be mad at them. I wouldn't be mad at them. And I think I definitely probably would snatch it up, because then they might have other variants in the colors or whatever. It might be kind of sweet. So I'm curious how you guys will feel about the Z Fold 7 looking like this, because I have the phone. I've been using it for 3 weeks, almost a month now. And I don't use any kind of cases or anything. It just feels really good. Only thing I will hope is that they do adapt the rear camera design like the Z Fold 6, or separate each camera module. Give it some kind of camera, something. Make it look different on the back. Yeah, I will hope that they did that, because this phone is, while it's the best Z Fold, like I said, it's not perfect. I definitely don't like this camera module, and it protrudes. It's got 2 layers. As you can see, you got the camera modules, then you got another module under that. And I'm wondering if that's because of the 200 megapixel camera setup. I don't know. I'm sure the experts will come out in the comments and say, oh, Jay, that's because of the internal. Then, yeah. So do you, if you know what it is, whatever it is, if you saw some leaks or something, or just you saw the information put out by Samsung, provide the source. Let me check it out. But this is like a double stack. So you got 1, 2, 3 layers. You got the phone, another layer for the camera. You know what I'm saying? So, and these are individual camera modules. So a lot of people I found are interested in this phone right here. And I know why, because I'm actually getting the opportunity to use it. And so it's a special, it sounds crazy, but it is a special phone, man, because I've been a Z Fold user since day one, and we never got nothing like this. Oh, we got a nice, decent screen, but I only bought the next iterations of the phones because they offer such good trade-in deals. And it turned out to be just a smidgen better in 1 or 2 areas. But this one would be a major upgrade for the US market if they can get this particular style over here and some different color variants, keep the same texture all over the device, change that camera module. I'm all in. because you do have Samsung's cameras, you do have Samsung's software suite, and it's loaded, man. It's got everything that a person will want. Now, some people are going to talk about pen support. Pen support is not that important to me after owning all the Z Folds with the pen support. It's not that important to me. If you can't put it inside of the device, I don't want it. And that's why it's not that important to me. So unless they go ahead and put it in the device, a slot for it, it's not that appealing. That's why with my current Z Folds, you don't see me do much with the pen because it's outside of the phone, and it's kind of, you gotta carry around a case just for your pen. I'm not really feeling that. So if they can in fact give it a slot for it, even if it's a thin, something that Zach would snap in half on one of his tests, something just to slide in, it would be nice. I don't want a magnetic pen to snap on the back like their tablets, and I don't want nothing on the side, and I don't want it like that. I want it to be inside of the device, and that way I know it's good and secure. And if I drop the phone, worst case, it'll pop out. You know what I'm saying? It won't just snap in half. So I'm hoping for greatness for the Z Fold 7 US market. I'm hoping for a good release, you know what I'm saying, for the US market this year. They better come with it, because if they don't and they do another version like the Z Fold 6, I think they're going to, and they just call it a 7, I think they're going to lose some people. They're going to have to bring this. And if you found some leaks or something like that, provide me the source. I want to check it out. But this right here is a hit, man. This bigger display, just by a little, that 8 inches versus 7.6. Yeah, you'll feel the difference. You'll feel the difference. And the resolution is, while it's just a tad bit lower, they can fix that too. They can still up the resolution if they wanted to. Yeah. So I'm hoping for greatness with the Z Fold 7, the official one that comes to the United States market. And I'm really hoping that the price stays the same. I'm hoping they keep it a buck with it and don't do just a small upgrade. What are you hoping for? Like I said, what if they bring this phone out and just rebrand it as the Z Fold 7 and give it the elite processor? I mean, 200 megapixel cameras at all. They don't change the camera bump or nothing like that. They just rebrand it, change the internals, and bring some colors, and boom, it's done. And this is the Z Fold 7. What would you do? I personally will be all in. I wouldn't hesitate. I would trade in my Z Fold 6 with the quickness. Like, boom, take it back. Here you go. Something different. Some upgrades enough to where it's warranted. And folks, I can tell you, if you like the Z Fold 6's screen, you're gonna love this one because it's just a tad bit wider. It's just a tad bit wider and a little bit taller. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love holding this versus the Z Fold 6, guaranteed. It's your man Jay. I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. Remember to hit the link in the description to get your entries in if you want to win this phone. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.